This program is made possible by support from our partners at Mass Humanities.
In 2022, the Sheffield Historical Society embarked on a project to unearth the forgotten history of their Black community in the period between the Revolutionary War and World War I. While the town's records provided some clues, it takes a lot of detective work to put the puzzle pieces together. And as the puzzle came together, so did the rich historical ties to the Massachusetts 54th Regiment, a legendary infantry unit made up of all Black enlisted soldiers who fought for the Union during the Civil War. For Jocelyn Jones, the pieces of that puzzle have also been the key to her uncovering her own personal history, a life-changing experience that has her redefining legacy for her family.
On all of these shelves are the town tax records. So you say, well, what are the value of tax records? Jim Miller, our archivist, has been working on this project for a few years, and he had 14,000 names associated with Sheffield Black family names. That's when we started saying we ought to be able to tell the story of the Black history of Sheffield. Many times we research in the abstract. We're uncovering a fact about someone, and that's nice, and how does that fit into the story of the town history? It was Super Bowl Sunday of 2023 that the stone got knocked over. A gentleman came through here, knocked over that headstone, knocked over William Jones's son's stone. Someone said to us, I think that's one of your guys that you're studying in the Mass 54th. So I pulled over and looked. I said, sure, that's William Jones. With Ancestry.com, you can reach out to people that you have in your tree. So Jocelyn got a hold of us. And I remember Jim saying to me, hey, it looks like we might have a connection to our William Jones. When you step back and you start connecting all these people together, then you start to connect their stories together. And then you start to build that fabric of these families.
Do you need help carrying any of that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. You sure you want to take the...
Your 20 feet of genealogy?
Yes, let me carry my 20 feet. I've always felt a connection to my ancestors. I've always felt like a presence around me. That connection fired me up to learn more, not only about William, but about other Joneses. So where's Chauncey? Yeah, Chauncey here, who again, they say was the first Black farmer in Pittsfield. His wife, Almira, her mother, founded the Second Congregational Church in Pittsfield, where Samuel Harrison was their first pastor.
He was the chaplain for the Mass 54th.
And he advocated for equal pay for the civil rights, for the Black Civil War veterans. The first document that I found that connected me to Jethro was an article about how Blandford was renaming this little road that had been, and I'm going to say the word just because of the power in it, it had been Nigger Hill Road. Who were the people they were referring to? And it turns out it was Jethro and his family that lived up there and had a farm. And to find that this man who had my name is my 4 times grandfather, the legacy that was left for me to find is Nigger Hill Road that just gets to my gut. I really want more African Americans, one, to not be afraid of looking into their history, because I was afraid. I didn't think I'd find anything before the Civil War. But to find out that we've been free for almost 300 years, it's a whole different, it makes the whole concept of what it means to be American completely different in my eyes. It makes me feel more like I belong in this country, which literally, the feeling of belonging that I get almost surprises me of how much I didn't realize I didn't feel that before knowing this.
The human story often gets wrapped up into the political story, the story of the battles, the story of the military. All throughout those big events, everyday people are just doing their thing, and whatever that might be. I find it really interesting to look at, well, when were people shunted aside? When were their stories not listened to? Why were they not part of the full community story? So it wasn't uncommon for town maps like this to be made with as many businesses or certain families, connected to them and identified as to where they were at, where a church was, that kind of thing. Because you can see both of these are pretty close. So for example, this is really downtown. Jones owned farmland, so we see it in the tax record very clearly. In the post-Civil War tax record, you can see exactly where he was. I will take Jocelyn at her word that it has been a transformative kind of experience for her. She feels much more connected to that period that we're about to go through again here, this 250th anniversary, experience of independence, and one that for a vast portion of the African American population led to simply more enslavement, not liberty, but rather, additional enslavement. And yet this story, these families are going through that liberation in this same moment that the nation's being formed. And I think that's something that people can get really excited about.
Going to Blandford and visiting the site of the Jones homestead, it really just made me make sense of myself. What is there is Jones Cemetery, which is where we believed Jethro and his wife Judy are buried. So it's right up here. I put a little marker up here. Yes, oh, here it is. This is the spot. This is it. This is the earth. These are my people, and this is where they are resting, and they're in this dirt. So grandson William, who's part of the 54th. Again, these are from.
Just help to mark the site.
From the service we had.
Let people know that there's something significant.
Here, I'll do one over here on this side too. That's nice.
A Revolutionary
These were patriots.
A Revolutionary War veteran is buried here.
Americans are buried here. And I can't believe that I'm standing here just like as a physical embodiment of them.
This is unlike many of the stories that we're able to help uncover. If Jocelyn didn't come into our life, if we hadn't discovered that, this story would go untold. That's what's important. We are discovering these stories that have been untold, and we're able to tell them now.
Part of what even sort of kept me from wanting to look back into my history was the pain of Civil War, of slavery, of knowing what Blackness means in America. But this is not that. We need to just tell a truer accounting of who the people were, who ordinary people were, who made this country what it is, helped it to achieve its freedom.